Millions are needed to keep I-83 in Baltimore at an acceptable level, but it's money the city says it doesn't have, doesn't know when it'll get. So currently there are no plans for major improvements. Instead, they're prioritizing smaller projects across the city for roads they consider to be in worse shape. Battery Avenue in Federal Hill is one of the streets scheduled for repaving this year. It's also where Joanne Stoll lives.
I have one of the best streets comparatively here.
You'd think she'd be happy to see her street on the list, but after blowing out a tire on the Jones Falls Expressway a few weeks ago, she questions how the city selects which roads get fixed first.
These roads are 25 miles per hour, certainly less traffic going on these roads. You compare it to an 83, a 295, Washington Boulevard, where speed limits are much higher, a lot more traffic. I would think those would take a priority any day.
A pothole on 83 also derailed Emily Morgan and Paul Petrov's plans.
Both right tires.
So we asked the city why there are no plans for a full repaving project.
We don't have current funding mechanisms to concrete essentially the JFX. A lot of the roadway is concrete, and so that is a very expensive and laborious process.
Unlike most jurisdictions in Maryland, Baltimore is responsible for maintaining interstate roads like I-83 and I-295, using highway user revenue from the state to help fund that work. In April, Mayor Brandon Scott warned I-83's pavement is in poor condition and said it would take $300 million just to bring it to an acceptable level. This year, the city is set to receive about $267 million in state highway user revenue, slightly less than the year before, but officials warn a major fiscal cliff is ahead, with funding expected to drop over $66 million starting in fiscal year 2028. Maybe some drivers might want to know, why wouldn't you prioritize the improvements now if there's a concern that this revenue will drop off in the future?
I think that's a great question, and highway user revenue plays a huge role in our capital improvement program, but in order to maintain and deal with huge infrastructure projects that are aging infrastructure, it requires a predictable level of funding and a larger amount of funding, which we don't have.
The city does plan to pave about 90 miles of Baltimore roadways this year, according to the city's new online tracker. And the 295 rehabilitation project, while originally expected to start this year, will begin early next year. The city says cost estimates aren't available yet because the project has not gone out to bid. The city has speed cameras along I-83, and under state law, that revenue must go toward camera operations and roadway improvements. But according to city data we obtained, expenditures have exceeded revenue for the last 3 years. I'm Mallory Safaste. Follow for more consumer updates.